Boom, shakalaka boom. You've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live from the Big Stick, the free speech First Amendment outpost known as WYAB 103.9 FM. Out here in Florida, Mississippi, pumping across the airwaves all throughout central Mississippi. Also, streaming in stunning 4K video on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble at SaveJXN. One edit there. Rumble is Clay Edwards Show. Search Clay Edwards Show, and it should pop right up. I believe Save Jackson does too, but for the sake of arguing, Clay Edwards Show. I got into a long diatribe about why you should join Rumble yesterday. I won't do that again today, but you should join Rumble. We're going to be doing some things on Rumble when we get the audience built up a little bit more. I don't want to do exclusive stuff just yet and like force you guys over there, but I do want to start incentivizing people to move over to Rumble and really put some effort into building that platform up. Look, YouTube's great. It's the biggest one out there, but they do censor some stuff here and there. I haven't had that problem lately because we haven't been talking about vaccines and face mask and LGBTQ LMNOP stuff too much. But when we do, they're not fans. All right, if you're watching the stream on the interwebs, you see that your boy got a fresh buzz, a fresh buzz. Went by and saw my barber yesterday, Jonathan Boone, out there at California Concepts in Pearl. Shout out to the barber. He got my fade looking nice. He taught me into knocking my beard down and kind of lining it up with my jaw since I've lost some weight. And I must say, I like it. The girlfriend doesn't so much, says it's a little rough, but it looks good anyway. So anyhow, it's a bit of a listener's choice Thursday. Let you guys drive the ship a little bit today. There's a topic you want to hit. I asked my Facebook friends last night, what did they want to talk about today? What did they want to hear me talk about, rant on, speak on, all that good stuff? Let's go to my Facebook page and see what they said. I actually asked this on my personal page. Well, as personal as it gets anyway. We're streaming live on both of my Facebooks, by the way. Let me click one little edit button here. Make sure that we are, for some reason, when I stream to my personal Facebook, it only shows it to me. So I have to go in and change the setting to public, which is a public page, so that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Let's see here. I asked the question, what are the top 5 stories of the day that you want the Clay Edwards Show to talk about tomorrow morning, that being now? If I pick your topic, you'll get a free coupon for a 3-piece chicken strip meal from Huey Magoo's. That is true. That is true. I've got some cards that are good for a free chicken strip meal, and we are going to give one of those away. I'll let whoever wins know, and I'll mail it to them. I'm not meeting anybody to give them a free chicken strip basket. Let's see here. Let's see some of the topics that they selected. Real quick, the Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. The Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879. Sorry, somebody sent me a picture I was looking at. 601-879-0002. Apparently, it's also a no bra Thursday. So, interesting. So the topics. I'll tell you what, somebody sends you an inappropriate photo at 7:12 in the morning. It can knock you off your center for a second there. Speaking of inappropriate, I'm getting caught up on 1923. I think I'm on episode 7 of season 1. And they just arrested the guy. If you haven't watched it, spoiler alert. They just arrested the Irishman that shot Dutton. And the guy goes back to the house where he's got the prostitutes. And I think this is where I'll just say it took an interesting turn. I was not expecting the next scene that I saw. Shout out to Taylor Sheridan or whatever his name is that does the Yellowstones. He knows how to keep the males engaged in that show. We'll just say that. All right, so the topics are, let's run through them. Michael Applewhite says Lumumba at the meeting tonight, the Poor People's Campaign, talking about minority bids that come in for the city are from white women as a front for their white husbands. You know, that wouldn't surprise me a bit. Actually, I'm glad Michael did that. Let's go to WAPT has a story up. Let's see if I can get it to. Let's see if I can make this work here. How about opening a new tab? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I did want to talk about that. I actually had that in my notes to talk about this morning was the Poor People's Campaign. That's his sister's grant grift. Yeah, she gets a big federal grant for that Poor People's Campaign. You know, I used to actually be supportive of one of the things of it because one of my buddies, they have that Strong Arms of Jackson, and at some point her grant funded that. I don't know if it still does or not, so I don't want to speak on behalf of that because I believe they actually do some good work. So I don't want to just completely hate on it, but if she wasn't getting grant money to do stuff, she wouldn't be doing any of it. Let's see here. Let me get it queued up so I can play it for the online audience as well. This computer at work goes a little slower than my home computer, so sometimes it just takes a second to get everything set up. Also working on one little screen instead of one massive screen like I have at my house where I can split it up like it's multiple screens. So I'm going to have to bounce back and forth between the tabs. So I apologize for it sounding a little unprofessional here. All right, let me throw my headphones on so I can hear it. I've not listened to this yet. I did a little show prep last minute this morning just to get everything together here. All right, left computer. There we go. All right, this is talking about the mayor. Oh, and by the way, they did not invite one of the white candidates to this. Zach Servis was not invited by the racist Poor People's Campaign. You know, the good anti-racist. We spoke about them yesterday or the other day. They're not inviting the white candidates from mayor to this. Interesting. Could it be because Zach is one of the only candidates that's actually looking the mayor in the eye and calling him out? He ain't worried about John Horn. He ain't focused on John Horn like so many of the other candidates are. He's looking the mayor, the one alleged criminal that's currently mayor in the eye and calling him out. Were they scared that he was going to do that? And look, I'm not sitting here caping for Zach by no means. We're going to have him on the show next week, by the way. But why wouldn't you invite the one guy that's calling the mayor out? I find that very interesting. Oh, it's because it's the mayor's sisters running the whole operation. That's why.
Engage voters ahead of the municipal primary election. The Mississippi Poor People's Campaign held a Jackson candidate mayoral forum of their own Wednesday, allowing community members to hear from candidates ahead of the municipal primary election.
We met as a team and discussed the importance of, first of all, the importance of voting and getting our community engaged. That's what we're all about, getting our community engaged in voting.
Candidates had to answer questions about issues in the capital city, from poverty and crime to the water system.
If we feel like somebody is running for office and they're not talking about an issue that's important to us, then we have the opportunity to be there and ask those questions to the unanswered questions that we don't know and things that we want to know more about.
Why did you say that knowingly that that's untrue?
With many hoping to see positive changes made in the city.
We already know what
positive solutions only. Sorry, I'm trying to get to where I don't interrupt these videos.
We know what we've had, right? So I'm just concerned with
what did she say? I got to run this back just a little bit here, guys. This word soup here a little bit. Hold on.
City.
We already know what we have. We know what we've had, right? So I'm just
we know what we had and we know what we have. No, just because we already know what we have. We know what we've had.
Concerned with what, the new candidates, what is their vision for us here in the city?
Brown says it's important for people to come out to forums like this to make an educated vote come April 1st.
You got to show up and you got to know why you're voting for who you're voting for. not just because your grandma said it, your auntie said it, but you got to know that you're voting for the best interest for you.
And if you missed it tonight, the Jackson Public Schools District is hosting a mayoral candidate forum of their own, and that will be Thursday at 10 a.m. at Forest Hill High School. I'm reporting.
So this morning, 10 a.m., Forest Hill High School, there's a mayoral forum hosted by JPS. Will the white candidates be invited? Are the white candidates invited? Let's text Zach real quick and ask him. Maybe we can get Zach to call in. I will waive something here. Let me see if he's awake. Are you going to the Forest Hill candidate forum this morning? If he answers, that means he's awake. If he's awake, we'll see if we can get him to call in and get him to explain why he wasn't invited last night. How can we move forward in this city? How can we break these chains of racisms in this city if we're not inviting all the candidates to these forums? Are the Lumumbas racist? Is the Poor People's Campaign racist? If I was a betting man, I'd say yes. Let's take a break real quick. Come back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Phone lines wide open, 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. And this is why I haven't been talking about Jackson as much lately, because I just feel like it's a zero-sum game for me. Like, I don't know how much I benefit from continuing to talk about Jackson, because my answer is the same. It's ran by a bunch of black for a living racists. And it doesn't really matter outside of one or two candidates that are running, which one wins. It's just going to be more of the same thing. Because that's what they want in Jackson. It's the same reason I'm against school choice. It'll benefit Jacksonians who want a lawless city. They want to live in a lawless city. They want to marinate in just lawlessness and just a lawless stew. But they want to send their kids to good schools. Or then you have the woke white people and the people who run these conservative think tanks that choose to live in Jackson. The ones that are really stirring this school choice pot. Like, your Douglas Carswells of the world. That are sending their kids to private school. And they just want that money because they chose to live in Jackson and send their kids to private school. They called me the enemy. They said I was the enemy. So they were going to attack anybody, any politician that came on this show. They were going to attack them because I'm the enemy. Son, you ain't met an enemy yet. You have not met an enemy yet. This is what I said. I know I'm getting on a bit of a rant here, but I'm supposed to be going to the break. But the audacity of somebody who begged to come on this show to then tell political candidates that if they come on this show, they're going to attack them because I'm no friend of theirs. I'm the enemy. This is exactly what I was talking about. I call them the woke right. They're no different than the woke left. And it's exactly what tore the Democrat Party apart, is them kicking anybody out of the party that disagreed with them on one thing. The only thing I really disagree with these conservative think tanks on is school choice. But that right there was enough for them to now call me the enemy and to go after politicians that come on this show. Because I disagree with them on one thing. I told y'all that was going to happen. We're going to unpack it and more. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We will be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB, and, of course, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app, Alexa, and, of course, streaming in stunning 4K video with my new haircut and beard trim. Man, oh man, we're going to talk about something really, really raunchy here in a minute. It's nothing like, not like sexually explicit, but just Democrats being nasty. Nasty. You're never going to want to shake a Democrat's hand after I tell you this next story. I mean, this is why I don't like shaking people's hands. I mean, I like to look a man in the eye, man to man, look him in the eye and just good firm Jameson Haygood style handshake. But man, really makes me want to wear gloves next time I do it. It really does. But of course, I mean, look, if you shake a lefty's hand, you're probably going to break it anyway. So anyway, we're going to get to that story in a second. But first, let's tell you about one of these great partners that we have here on the Clay Edwards Show. You know, we went and did a live remote on Valentine's at Juniker Jewelry. Man, those guys, the Ravensteins, are just great folks. And I keep telling you about it. They've got this diamond stud program. It's called the Juniker Jewelry Diamond Stud Program. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. They're located right there on Highland Colony Parkway next to Madison Central. Easy to find. When you buy diamond studs from Juniker, you're getting more than just your purchase. Your purchase is an investment. So here's the deal. When you get ready to upgrade, they're going to credit you 100% of your original purchase price towards a larger pair. It's a lifetime trade-up program. They've been in business a long time. They ain't going nowhere. You ain't got to worry about it. This ain't some gimmick. So let's say, for example, and I'm going to end it at this. I know y'all don't like these long ad reads. You've reached your girlfriend's birthday, your wife's birthday, whatever. You're new in a relationship. But you know that this is the one. You know you're going to be together a while. Maybe it's your anniversary. Whatever the occasion. I'm going to pick a round number here. You don't have to commit to this much. But let's just say you go and buy a $1,000 set of diamond studs. And the next year, you want to upgrade that to a $1,500 or $2,000 set of diamond studs. That first $1,000 you invested, they're going to give you 100% of that back on your trade-in as you trade up. So all you have to come out of the pocket is the additional. So if you're going into a $1,500 pair or a $1,000 pair. And every year when you trade up, whatever you're invested into that original pair or that previous pair, you get 100% of that back towards the purchase of the next pair. Let's go your 10-year anniversary. You're up to a $10,000 pair of studs. You want to go all in, save another $10,000. You want to get a $20,000 set of studs. Boom. $10,000 of it you've already paid. You're getting that back towards the price. It's not going to lose any value. You're guaranteed the value that you paid. I mean, I'm seriously thinking about doing that. I can't play with that kind of money. Like we're going to start with them $100 studs, maybe two, and work our way up from there. But you can do that at Juniker Fine Jewelry. All right, man. Let's take a call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line this morning. I love it when we get some phone calls in. But y'all ain't been calling me much lately. You've been wearing the text line out. We got to get these phone lines back going. Hey, good morning. Ooh, we got a phone problem there. Try calling back, man. We had a connection issue there. Hey, guys, I will say this. One big thing, and I'm not trying to be picky, but this is radio, and we do have quality control stuff that we have to pay attention to. If you want to call in, I just ask you to do this. Your windows rolled up, your sunroof closed, and try not to have me on Bluetooth and radio down. It's real easy. Like you try, like pretend you're making a business call, and that's what we try to shoot for here. Is try to pretend you're making a business call, no Bluetooth, no windows rolled down, and cut the radio down because there's a delay. We're actually on like a 5-second delay, and you don't need to hear yourself on the radio while you're talking on the radio. So 601-879-0002 is that phone number. That's the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Great folks over there, man. I really, really like those folks. I see that we got Miss Sylvia watching on the live feed this morning. Always lovely to have Miss Sylvia on there. We got Kristen. We got Garrison. Garrison gave me some nice words this morning. He said, man, Never apologize for doing something that you think is right. Before we dive back into everything, Tuesday morning I did an opening monologue. I don't do an opening monologue on every show, but Tuesday morning I trauma dumped on y'all a little bit. That's actually a phrase I've heard here the last couple of years. And I told y'all that the truth is never controversial. The only people who say that the truth is controversial are weak men and liars. Weak men and liars will tell you the truth is controversial because they're trying to scare you out of being truthful. They want you to think that if you're controversial, that you could get canceled. Guys, we won the culture war. It's over. We won. The leftists are just stewing in their own hate at this point. We won that. We won it so badly that the right-wing think tankers are going to war with other right-wingers because we beat the lefties so bad that they're literally, they love that word literally, that they're taking their hand and they're rubbing it between their butt cheeks and they're wiping it on Tesla trucks. Clay, you're lying. They're not doing that. Lefties wouldn't do that. Contraire. Mon frere. Yes, in fact, they would. And if you, for some reason, don't think they would, I don't know what is wrong with you. I've got the video of it right here for the benefit of those with flash photography. If I had to see it, you guys have to see it. This is going to be one of the times that you are much better off for listening on the radio and not watching on the live stream. I'm pulling it up here. Like I said, doesn't require volume. It's strictly just a visual. We're doing this for visual effect only. And this is why you don't want to shake a lefty's hand today. Be very careful at your drive-through barista place this morning. I don't know what it is about coffee shops, but left-wing nut jobs love to work at coffee shops. Not all of them. We got some good ones out there in Brandon. We really do. We got some good folks. Shout out to Mocha Mugs. There's some good kids working at the Mocha Mugs, especially the downtown location. I don't go to the other one too often, but the downtown Brandon location, some really good kids there. Shout out to Mocha Mugs. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater here. Some baristas is good folks. Some people understand that it's not a career. It's a job to get you through high school. It's the ones who have made it a career that don't own the place. Those are the ones I may have some concerns about. But hey, I don't know. Maybe they make really good money. Hell, what do I know? Anyway, here's the video of a left-wing sycophant, psychopath, Democrat, Joe Biden, Chokwe Lumumba supporter. Yeah, I took my shot there. I called him a Lumumba supporter. What? You don't think he is? Where's it at? Here we go. You got this guy, walks up, got it, big old fat white guy. First off, he looks like a can of Busted Biscuits. And he's got, and you know, these Teslas got cameras inside that film all the way around all the time. You know, never say anything around a Tesla that you don't want repeated, by the way. So he walks up, he's got just a big old handful of booty juice. He's wearing, is that a Judas Priest shirt he's wearing? Or is that a Prince Purple Rain shirt he's wearing? Either way, it'd be appropriate if it was Judas Priest. And he's just wiping, just multiple times, just wiping. Broad daylight here. Just nasty. Probably don't even need to be talking about this on the radio, but, this is news. I can't help it. Shout out to Lane for sending this to me. I don't know if I should be thankful or mad, but yeah, I had to see it. Y'all do too. So think twice about shaking a lefty's hand today, because I tell you what, I've been talking about this to my friends a little bit off air. I don't know if I've said this on air or not, but if my credit can handle a second vehicle, like I don't know what Tesla's leasing terms look like, like income and all that. I just bought a vehicle. But if I could lease a Tesla I may go do it, and not just because, not so much just to support Elon and all that. I don't really get into that necessarily. I don't really care for the electric vehicles. They are fun to drive. These things haul butt. But really what I want to do is entrap me a lefty. I want to entrap a lefty. I want to get me a Tesla. I want to wrap it in MAGA. No, you know what? I think I'll just wrap it in Clay Edwards. They hate me in Jackson. And I'm going to ride to Fondren. And I'm going to sit in it with the windows super dark. It's like a bait car. And I'm just going to wait on a lefty to come try to smear some booty juice on it. And that is when the shenanigans are going to begin. That's when we're going to get some good content for you guys. And we're going to really test that castle doctrine. Yep. We're going to test that because I think that is an assault. That's a biological terrorist attack. I mean, I could get salmonella or something. Right? What is it you get? Like if somebody doesn't wash their hands and they handle raw meat? That salmonella poisoning? Something like that? Ugh. Me and Chip Matthews had to evict a guy. A local Democrat. He's very popular. Yeah, people love this guy, man. I don't know why. I think he's a complete a-hole. Obviously, I'm about to tell y'all why. He's a saxophone player. His name's Ezra. I won't say his last name. You can figure it out. His name's Ezra. We had to evict him from a bar one time because we took over the lease and he had not paid his rent and we needed his stuff out of there over on Capitol Street. So we had to go, per the owner, remove his stuff if we wanted to get in there. So, you know what? We took over the lease. Get your stuff out. This guy's a sicko. And I almost got in a fight with him years later, months later, years later. I forget the time I was out at the dock over this. Because I'm still salty about it 20 years later. He put doo-doo on the door handle. I don't know if it was his own or dog poo or what, but he put it on the door handle. And I touched that door handle. And I have been quite angry about it for 20 years. And I'm sure that the people out there right now that don't like me and this, that, and the other, Clay touched doo-doo. Clay touched doo-doo. I mean, it's one of y'all sick people that put the doo-doo on the door handle, that picked it up, I just rolled it in their hands, put a little on their face like war paint, thought to themselves, I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them. And put doo-doo on the door handle. He was playing with a band out at the dock one time. And I figured out real quick who it was. And you tend to not forget somebody who cross-contaminated your door handle with doo-doo. And I specifically remember being asked to leave the premises that night. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Avoiding lefties and their nasty infatuation with touching feces and wiping it on things that it don't belong on. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Good morning. Hope you hadn't had breakfast yet. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. I think that last segment exemplified breaking rules when necessary. Sometimes you got to tell the nasty, ugly truth. Sometimes you just got to do it. It's E. coli. Thank you, Kimberly. E. coli, not salmonella, is what I was looking for there. My daughter went to a petting zoo one time and when she was young and got E. coli. That was a scary, scary situation. Anybody who's never had E. coli or had a family member with it, it can be very, very scary because, they can't put you on antibiotics with E. coli. So, I mean, these lefties out here just trying to give Tesla owners E. coli. And what's so rich about it is, generally speaking, a lot of Tesla owners are lefties because of the whole electric vehicle environmental grift. I mean, they're just poisoning themselves I'm not saying some badass right-wingers, real men, don't have some Teslas. I think they're cool vehicles as an option. You want to make me not like something, force it upon me. I wasn't going to say down my throat. When you talk about lefties forcing things down your throat, they take that literal. Hold him down. I got something for him. I think one of the Goon Squad members in jail right now had a problem with doing stuff like that. That's where I draw my line. I ain't backing that blue. I ain't backing that blue. Anyway, this segment brought to you by Guns and Gear, Highway 51 North, Gluckstadt, Mississippi. They are open today. Swing by, see Hunter and the team. Most knowledgeable staff in all the gun game, located right there at Guns and Gear. Man, they got some really cool guns in there. Some we always talk about like ARs and the cool looking tactical type stuff, assault rifles. But man, they really have some great pistols in there. They got a really nice rack with a bunch of really good knives in it. Like, who doesn't need a good knife? I need a good knife. I like to cut a mother. Womp. Anyhow, swing by. They take trade-ins. They will buy your guns. No sense in going to the pawn shop if you ain't got to. Take it out to Guns and Gear. You're going to make you a fair market value offer on that thing. And boom, there you go. And of course, they take care of all your Cerakoting and gunsmithing needs as well. And they got a brand new website, gunsingear.co. Gunsingear.co. Shop online today or swing by in person. Highway 51 North, Gluckstadt, Mississippi at Yandell Road. That's Guns in Gear. Speaking of Guns and Gear, the Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Let's see if we got any text this morning. No text yet. I replied to a couple of texts yesterday. Actually, we do have a text here. Just a random good morning, Clay. It's all good. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Actually, that was a reply. I was a little late getting back to some text from yesterday. So I'm just thinking about these lefties, man. They're just disgusting. And why are lefties attacking Teslas? We hate Elon. He cut off funding to something that we don't get any of anyway. We hate Elon. He's busting up the deep state. As Kim Wade said, busting it up at the dough. I mean, they've really had to take their lizard skins off and show you who they really are. Not their lizard skin. They've had to take their human skin off and show you that they're really lizard people. I mean, they're protesting Tesla dealerships because Elon. I mean, it's so funny how lefties just turn on a dime. They used to love Trump. Then he came down that escalator and said something about building a wall. Oh, he's the most racist person ever. Oh, really? He wasn't a racist for the previous 25, 30, 40 years? I mean, y'all told us he wasn't. Y'all co-signed on him. I did a whole video about this. All these angry black Gen Xers pretending they've ever actually dealt with real racism. Y'all co-signed on Donald Trump. Y'all the ones, we just working off y'all's co-sign that he was a good non-racist. I mean, I don't think he ever done anything racist. No, fast forward, Elon. Lefties told us that Elon was the smartest human being in history. That he was the bestest of the best. That he was the greatest. He was going to save the environment. He was going to save the world. It's one of the few things I agreed with him on. Elon is a great human. But probably Elon Musk may be the greatest living immigrant American in history. Well, I mean, currently is living for sure, but he may be the greatest human being to ever come to America. I mean, seriously. I can't think of one better. As far as like what he's been able to accomplish. If he had been born here, he may be the greatest American ever. You know what? I'll say it. You know, since we're a nation of immigrants, that's what lefties, let's use lefties' language against them here. Elon Musk may very well be the greatest American of all time. Even more so than Donald Trump. Donald Trump we have one purpose for Donald Trump. It's not just to make America great again. It's to eliminate the deep state and to drain the swamp. Now that's a multi-tentacle purpose. It's like an octopus. But he's the octopus, and he's got these long tentacles, and it requires doing a lot of different things to accomplish one goal. Elon is, and Trump's so selfless. Like, this cost him money to do all this. Now, it's finally coming back around because people are recognize game. But now the media and the left-wing machine has pointed its aim at Elon. But Elon has created SpaceX. He's created Tesla. He's created Starlink. And all these great things are going to just make the world a better place. I mean, look, I don't know how I really feel about this Neuralink stuff where they put chips in humans. I was telling Jamie Krill downstairs yesterday out at the car having a conversation. I said, look, I don't, just on the surface, I don't know how I feel about turning humans into robots, but what do I know? I'm not always the quickest one to the party, the first one to the party to realize something is a good thing. If that can help people who are paralyzed and they get them back going and it can make humans smarter and all this, that, and the other, then maybe it's a good thing. I don't have to necessarily agree with it 100%. This AI stuff, it's coming whether we do it or not. I mean, do you want China leading the way with AI, or do you want America leading the way with AI? I mean, it's an arms race to the end of the world. Kind of like the nuclear arms race. I would rather us be winning that race than China or Russia or North Korea or, God forbid, Ukraine. So I don't have to agree with everything that Elon does to understand that he is a national treasure. We got to take another break. We'll be right back. I'm staying on with you guys. Let's see here. Brandon said he's the greatest African American of all time. I think he's the greatest American of all time. I mean, I get the whole African American thing. I mean, I know what you're saying. Caleb says, when I was in high school, they all loved Elon and thought he was the genius of our generation. And he was, or he is. He is the genius of our generation. Kara says it's a digital moon race. Absolutely. No, like I said, it's a bit of an arms race. It really is. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like the nuclear arms race. Because, Elon was saying the other day that within 10 years, he believes that we'll have AI killer robots that are to kill humans. They could do it now. But I think they'll be sedentary. I think that's the word I'm looking for, sedentary, where they can think on their own. And they're going to become our enemies. And we are living, it's amazing how quickly we've gotten to this whole Terminator Skynet stuff. Bobster says he's also working on artificial limbs and eyes. See, and I'm just all for that. I think if you can help make people walk, move, see, talk, and you can fix stuff through that, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you? One of the things I've always been for that a lot of conservatives are against. Sometimes I hate having a radio show in the mornings because my brain just isn't all the way there yet. There's a treatment you can do, a gene therapy thing you can do. And I guess it uses maybe aborted fetuses somewhere along the way for it, but it's for like your nerves and stuff. It can help paralyzed people potentially walk again and stuff through that treatment. And like conservatives have always been against it. And I've always said, man, why would you be against something that could help change somebody's life for the better? I mean, one of my greatest fears is being paralyzed. You know, if we can help people through a treatment, even if what that comes from is a terrible thing, if we're going to have stem cell treatment, thank you, Michelle, just complete brain fart this morning, stem cell treatment. Why would we not have that? I mean, I've never understood that. I don't think that. I know George Bush, W, was against it, and you know he always said it was because of the dead fetuses. But I don't really believe that that's what it was. I'd be willing to bet that it has something to do with money, not dead fetuses. But that's just my opinion again. So if they can use this Neuralink stuff to help people like that, I just don't understand why you wouldn't do it. Yeah, Steven says he also has the Boring Company. Yeah, they make some really cool stuff with the Boring Company beyond just the flamethrowers. I mean, he's doing some great stuff. All right, guys, we're getting ready to come back from the break here real quick. Then we're going to have our 7-minute top of the hour news. But I'm going to try to stay on with you all as much as I can anyway. I got to get a little prep done for the next hour. All right, hang tight. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We got about 40 seconds here. Guys, I was telling people that during the break about this Elon stuff, and, you know, I just think that this Neuralink and all that, you know, I've always been a supporter of stem cell research. I couldn't remember the name of it during the break. Stem cell research. I mean, if there's something that we can do to help people who are paralyzed or struggling like that to be able to get up and walk again and get their life back, why aren't we doing it? If Neuralink can help do that, then I'm all for it. Negatives be damned. All right, we'll be right back in 7 minutes. Don't go nowhere. All right, guys, give me 1 second. Yeah, hey, look, man, I Suck My Stuff says, these names, says sedentary doesn't mean that. Yeah, look, man, I know. Sometimes I get my words wrong. But there's a word that they use that basically means these robots thinking for themselves. I thought it was sedentary. No, it's not autonomous. I know that word too. Maybe I'm just blending two things. Anyway, you're right, I'm wrong. For the sake of arguing, I heard the sedentary word used, and what does it mean? Let's Google it real quick. Means, yeah, well, no, that's sedentary. What is sedentary? I'm probably spelling it wrong. How about this? AI that thinks for itself. Come on. There's I just typed AI that thinks for itself. Says while current AI process information and learn it doesn't think in the way humans do. It operates based on algorithms and data, lacking true conscious self-awareness and independent thought. AI that thinks for itself is called what? Sentient. I was close. I knew it started with an S. It's sentient AI or self-aware. Sentient AI. Okay. Well, look. I was kind of close. I don't feel as stupid now. Yeah, CD away here. says Planned Parenthood buys all the stem cell stuff from fetuses. That's how they make clones and viruses. Look, man, I just know that the stem cell research can do a lot for nerve damage, spinal nerve damage. I know that these fighters and athletes will go to other countries where stem cell research or stem cell recovery, stem cell treatments are legal, and the recovery time for their repairs, especially like tendons and stuff of that nature, ACL repairs, like if they have bad knees and elbows and joints and stuff, they can put stem cells in there, and the recovery time is immediate, legal and it's crazy. I went back to the States, and a lot of states are choosing to do it. I'm just saying, if it's going to be done, if we can use that stem cell research for good, there's going to be some people who don't want it, who reject it because, and I mean reject getting the treatments themselves because of where some of that stuff comes from. I would like to think that technology, that we could clone that without having to use fetuses. And according to John here, not all stem cells come from abortions. So I would have to do a little research on that and try to understand it a little bit better. Maybe we can get somebody on the show one day that knows a little more about it, or knows a lot more about it, and can explain it to us. Yeah, Kara said this, and this is kind of the point I was trying to make. He says, as far as stem cell research, if it does come from an abortion, it could be viewed as helping something good come from something bad. Yeah, that's what I meant by, at least it wouldn't be in vain. Boom goes the dynamite. We're back live. It's the most incendiary show on the RADIO. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. Streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app, Alexa, and in stunning 4K on the Save JXN, Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. Having some good conversations over here in the live chat during the break, talking about stem cell research and some of the pros and cons of stem cell research. This segment brought to you by our friends over at, have we talked about... Let's see here. Pull my notes back up real quick. Never fails me. I've been rearrange my notes here. Have we talked about Martin's a little bit this week? Not too much. They're coming off a big weekend. Got the biggest weekend of the year coming up Saturday, the St. Patty's Day Parade. It starts and stops at Martin's downtown. Big after party there this year. Bunch of live music and a Clay Edwards Show favorite, the Chad Wesley Band, will be playing the after party. So y'all be sure, if you're going to attend the parade this year, to make sure you spend some time there at the Martin's block party or inside Martin's. We went last year. Not going to make it this year. Had planned on it and had a change of plans. Going to be doing something different this year. But I hope everybody goes down there, has a safe and good time. If you're not going to make it to the parade, swing by either Martin's location, Livingston or downtown, and take advantage of their great plate lunches, or just chill, hang out, order something off the menu. I recommend Calvin's Steak Bites or the grilled chicken tenders. Oh, so good. Y'all know I like the country fried steak, but I'm just saying, they have other stuff too. Have you had the ribeye gyro? My goodness. One thing they do really, really well at Martin, for one of the many things, is steak. Whether it's the steak bites, the steak itself, the ribeye gyro, anything red meat, steak-wise, they do it really, really well at Martin's. So try that. Their Cajun pasta, I think it's Mardi Gras pasta, I think is what it's called. My goodness. If you like some Alfredo-based pasta, Martin's is your place. Check them out. Downtown Jackson or Livingston out in Madison County. Open daily from 11 a.m. to close. The Livingston location, I think, closes around midnight. Downtown is 2 a.m, 7 days a week. Go enjoy the patio. It's definitely patio weather. All right. We've been talking a lot in the chat about the stem cell research and kind of where they come from, some of the pros and cons of stem cell research. And without diving too much into stem cell research, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do understand the pros of it. But I also understand the cons is some stem cells come from aborted fetuses. So therein lies an issue for a lot of people. If Neuralink can offset that, then I'd be all for it. But I don't even want to get into a deep conversation about that because I haven't done much research on it. I just know that a lot of people, it's one of the things where people have been on the right side of the aisle. People have been against it with Elon. I don't like the Neuralink. I don't like the idea of turning humans into robots and all that stuff. And I say, I need to know more about it. I need to understand the pros and I need to understand the cons of it. Yeah, we're just turning humans into superhumans for the sake of it. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that idiots should be able to put a chip in them and become not idiots. I think the survival of the sickest, survival of the fittest, survival of the strongest. It's got us great places. I don't think we need to be turning humans into super robots. But if we can take a human that is mentally ill, has mental issues, and we can make them normal, or somebody that has physical, nerve issues that's not allowing them to use their body properly, if we can fix that, then I'm all for it. I'm all for giving everybody a equal starting point when it comes to physical and mental abilities. Gosh, you say that and that sounds so liberal, doesn't it? Everybody deserves an equal starting point. It's not, I don't mean it financially, socially, but, physically. If somebody can't walk, they deserve to be able to walk. If somebody's deaf, they deserve to be able to hear. If somebody's blind, they deserve to be able to see. I think that we can agree on. Well, Clay, God don't make mistakes. Well, I mean, debatable. Let's hear. Zach says, hey, did you have a question for me I can call into? Yes, Zach, call in now. 601-879-0002. 601-879-0002. I want to ask you a question about the debate you did not get invited to, or the thing you didn't get invited to last night. I want to ask you about, Zach, call in. I see you comment live. I know people get mad at me when I say stuff like God doesn't make, God makes mistakes. I think we all make mistakes. I think a baby being born without sight, without the ability to hear, without the ability to walk, if we can fix that, we need to fix that. If there's a technology out there that can fix that. I just think that's where, I think that's where also that Christians have that their messaging can get lost. Our messaging can get lost when we go with this. There's no mistakes. Everything happens for a reason stuff. That's a hard sell to somebody that just lost a child. That's a hard sell to somebody who just had a child born with an impairment. God, don't make mistakes. That's what we tell people to make them feel better. But I don't know that that's necessarily the right answer all the time. Tell you what, let's try this. Zach, I got your phone number. I'm calling you. I want to get Zach on the air here because he wasn't invited to. Hello? Weird. He wasn't invited to this thing last night. Oh, we got somebody on hold here. Hey, you on there?
Hey, good morning, Clay. How are you, buddy?
Hey, who's this?
This is Tom, man. Look,
sorry, I didn't realize I had somebody on hold.
You want me to carry on or just be on hold?
You're good. You're good. Carry on.
Yeah, man. Look, I was going to tell you, man. Look, I've been in North Houston for the last couple of days in training. Met a guy at the hotel from Canada. Super cool guy. You could drop him off anywhere in Mississippi. He'd fit right in. And had some really great conversation with him, but at the same time, some really sad conversation. The state of Canada is just unreal, dude. he knows people have gone to jail over conversations against LGBT and all that. Before we even started any political talk, he said, hang on, man. He took and put his phone in his room. He said, dude, they're listening. I mean, he wasn't no conspiracy theorist. He knows people have gone to jail. But anyway, we talked about all that, but then he got to talking about how proud he was of America for putting Trump in and Trump staying on agenda. And, dude, just had me beaming with pride. I'm just so proud to be an American this morning. And, man, just so sad for him. And, man, I just wanted to share that with you guys, man. It's like, don't believe the hype. You know, with all the crap they're putting on TV, none of it's true. The majority of Canada is just like me and you.
Oh, absolutely.
That was so sad, man.
Yep.
Yeah, just wanted to share that with everybody, man. God bless America.
Appreciate it, brother.
Buddy.
Yeah, look, man, what the media shows us is crazy. They're convinced that they want you to believe that everybody hates America and that the majority of people hate Trump and hate what Elon Musk is doing, and that's simply just not the case. Zach, if you're listening, call back in now. 601-879-0002 is the Mazda of Jackson phone line. I want to hear about this debate debacle or this forum debacle last night. I call everything a debate. All these things are debates to me. But and look, I'm getting some text from people saying, Clay, you're wrong about God not making mistakes. I know. Maybe I need to find a better way to word that. But I do have a problem with, the people. We should all, Zach, hang on one second. We should all want to fix mistakes like that. That's a mistake. Word it however you want. That's a mistake, and if we have the technology to fix it, we should fix it. All right, now let's take a call here. I think we got Zach Servis, running for mayor of Jackson, on the line. Hey, Zach, you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, thank you for calling in this morning. Look, in the first segment of the show, the first hour or whatever, I played a little news story about that forum last night, the Poor People's Campaign, and I remember you telling me yesterday that they didn't invite you to this thing. And, of course, this is the mayor's little grift that she does, the mayor's sister's grift that she does. The same mayor's sister, by the way, who took it upon herself to try to sue the federal government or Judge Wingate and protested with Judge Wingate. Maybe she didn't actually sue, but she went there and showed her butt because her brother, the mayor of Jackson, and her lost the power to dictate who got the contracts for the Jackson Water reconstruction or whatever. So I just think that should tell everybody all they need to know about how corrupt this administration is. When the mayor's sister has got to go show up in federal court to cry about her brother not being able to steer the contracts to the minority set-asides that he wants to steer it to, or to the maybe they're not minorities. Maybe it's guys like, I don't know, one of his biggest donors, Terry Lovelace. Again, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Look at who donates the most money to him. Maybe some promises were made with these contracts. I'm not making any accusations here. I'm just speculating. But anyway, I digress. Tell us why. Tell us your side of the story here. Why didn't they invite you? Did they give you an answer?
Man, heck no, dude. I tried to call the number on their flyer, and it seems like it was one of those Google Voice numbers.
Yeah.
Because it just kept saying, like, the number's not available, can't take your call. And I called about 3 different times throughout the day, multiple days, because they've been doing this on certain forums where, like, even going back, I don't know if you guys remember last year, the first mayoral forum that occurred was actually at Pearly Grove, Greater Pearly Grove Church. And the only people who were invited were James Hopkins, Kim Wade, Marcus Wallace, Albert Wilson, Delano Funches, and I think it was a total of 6 up there, right? But I was actively running my campaign during that time. I had even called to confirm, like, hey, why am I not being invited? And other people had called in to ask, why am I not being invited? And even Kim Wade on his radio show that week was like, yeah, I'll expect to see Zach there too. And they would not let me participate. So I've been not invited to multiple forums, including Forest Hill. I was not invited. Just thankfully, we have a little group chat with most of the mayoral candidates where we kind of just update one another on stuff, because a lot of us have been noticing that certain forums pick and choose who they want to invite instead of just inviting anybody who's in the race. And the only one that really did it for a reason was the one that's happening this evening for the Association of South Jackson Neighborhoods. Theirs is a Democratic forum, but they didn't even announce it as a Democratic forum. So I had to reach out and ask, like, why aren't y'all inviting some of us? And then they're like, oh, yeah, it's because it's just for Democrats. So right now, I know why the People's Campaign one didn't invite me. I mean, I've been going at Lumumba for the last 3 months straight, so of course he would love to not have me there because I think they did invite Kim Wade. But they don't care about the people really being in the forum. Clay, you guys know that, so that's my piece on that. I'm about to host my own debate. I'm already working with somebody on getting a venue. Some of the candidates have already expressed that they would love to be a part of it, so we're going to try to put something together that actually gives the people the information they need instead of the information they're trying to give us.
Well, I think that's great. Like I said, we're going to have you on the show this upcoming Wednesday week. So looking forward to having you here in the studio, letting people hear, letting my audience hear what you got going on. I've been watching you. I saw your interview with Kara and seen some other things that you've done. I think you're very well spoken. And you've got you've got a good platform, and I think that people need to hear it. I think you're doing something a little bit different. I don't agree with everything you do, but I don't agree with everything anybody does or says. Just like I don't expect everybody to agree with everything I say or do. And I think that's what makes America great is we're allowed to have our differences and opinions, and we can still kind of meet in the middle and try to do its best for all of us to move forward. Looking forward to having you on. Keep me posted on stuff like this, man, because one thing I can't stand is anti-racist racism. And you get that, you get that from the Lumumbas more than any. Well, the whole Free the Land camp is they do everything in the name of anti-racism, but they end up being racist in the process of their anti-racism. So it's a bit of a mockery to watch, and it's kind of entertaining all at the same time. But I don't think it's fair for a group that always wants to be inclusive of everybody to tell people no, you can't come. So the irony is rich with that bunch.
It's actually really funny because my brother, when he first came here to Mississippi from Texas, he's newer to Mississippi. I had to strangle that man to get him to move out here, stop playing around. But his first thing that he noticed was like, wait a minute, like, where's the diversity in Jackson? This is the capital city. Why does it seem like there's no actual diversity of thought and culture here? And I was like, well, our leadership for the last 8 years has only particularly tried to pander to one group of people, and they've actually pointed the finger at the other group while living in a gated community with the other group. You don't see the mayor in South Jackson. You don't see the mayor in West Jackson, which is where I've spent most of my time. I think someone made a comment about me. He ain't never been to the zoo during the Millsaps Forum, and I was like, not only have I been there and talked to some of the employees and got their opinions on it, before I started my campaign, I actually sat there in Livingston Park listening to gunshots going off in the apartment complex beside it, just praying and studying and trying to determine like what route were we going to take with this campaign. I still remember my wife texting me some scriptures that actually dealt with God saying he was going to judge the wicked councilmen, and that was right before the indictments dropped. So, I'm not worried about people who judge my validity, but when people look at the mayor and they because he's so well spoken and he's a good salesman, they buy this idea that he's really actually at odds with people like us, but he's not really. It's an acting campaign. It's a political stunt. It's just, if you don't have something to stand on that works, you have to find a common enemy to get people angry at. And the state is the obvious choice, right? But this is something that's been going on the state's been neglecting Jackson in ways even before black leadership came into office. So even though that's the new excuse to help, cause problems, really we just have to admit the fact that there's been some big issues for a long time. And if we can't change the way we think, then we're never going to be able to fix the city no matter what color the leader is in office. And that's all I'll say about that.
All right, Zach. Appreciate you, brother. We'll see you Wednesday.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Okay. I want to unpack some of the stuff he said there, but I'm out of time real quick. We'll do it on the other side of the break. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Hey, guys, Acme Pizza and Daiquiris, Fan and Mart on the Res. They're open daily, 4 p.m. to midnight. Swing by for dinner tonight, get it delivered, carry it out, sit down, dine in, whatever you want to do. They got 12 different specialty pizzas, 9 different frozen daiquiris. And it's all available to go, even the daiquiris. That's right, get daiquiris delivered. Maybe watch some of these mayoral forums and sit back on some daiquiris. You're going to need a drink or two after listening to some of these folks. Oh, the thought of it. Anyway, the pig, y'all know it. It's my favorite. You've heard me talk about it for 2.5, 3 years now. I love that pig. Fresh ham, fresh bacon, fresh sausage. Fresh ham, fresh bacon, fresh pulled pork, smoked fresh daily there on site. The bacon put on raw, not cooked, not frozen. The fat cooks down into the cheese. Shut up and take my money. Get it today at Acme Pizza and Daiquiris, Fan and Mart on the Res. Our very own Chip Matthews is the proprietor of Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. You're supporting a WYAB host and getting some good pizza from a locally owned business in the process. And who knows, maybe Chip will be the next mayor of Canton. One of these days, one of these radio hosts running for mayor are going to win. And then everybody's going to want to be a radio host. And because they think it's going to pivot them to their mayoral seat. Let's take a call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, good morning. You're on there. Nope. We had a call. Caller, call back. 601-879-0002. I want to pivot. Well, I want to say one thing that Zach said. Zach said the state has been neglecting Jackson for a long time. And I just disagree with that. I lived in Jackson up to 4 years ago. And it is not the state's job to take care of Jackson. And it has not neglected Jackson. The state owns a lot of land here and a lot of buildings here. They don't have to pay taxes on. That's just the way it works when you're the capital. Jackson is the county seat of Hinds County, and it's also the capital of the state. And I know Raymond is also the county seat. It's kind of weird how it works, having 2 county seats, sort of. But it is not the state's, 100% the state's fault that Jackson's in the shape it's in. It's Jackson's fault. Jackson leadership has done a very, very bad job of allocating the proper funds they need to do to take care of this city, and they have forced so many businesses and people out that it shrunk the tax base. I mean, I don't know what how the state has neglected Jackson. You know, people love to say that the legislature is screwing Jackson. How? How are they screwing Jackson? Do they won't just give the mayor a blank check? He has proven that doesn't need a blank check for anything. You know, the state has not neglected Jackson. Jackson has neglected Jackson. And that's just fact, Jack. I mean, I think that's one of the things, young Zach gets caught up in that I just don't believe is true. He kind of believes that. How do I say this? I want to make sure I say this right. There's a myth that rolls around in the black community in Jackson, and it's that all of our problems are because of ... They're not because of anything we did. It's because of ... It's the state. The state's the boogeyman. It's because of racism from the 1960s. Medgar. It's all that stuff. You know, it's never just look in the mirror and have any dang accountability. So, like a lot of these younger white folks that grew up in around Jackson, especially, I call them the hip hop generation. The guys, want to grow up around black folks and want to try to be friendly and look cool and like they're part of the culture and they understand it. They buy into that. I did for a long time. And I speak from a place of personal experience. I believed what black folks were selling for a long time around here. That it was because of, that their the bad hand they've been dealt was because of racism. And it's just, because of the Klan and old Mississippi Democrats and all that. But then, you can only beat that drum for so long before you had to say, man, what about some accountability? Well, you know, okay, sure, yeah, you were dealt a bad hand, or your ancestors were dealt a bad hand. But at some point, you know, maybe pull yourself up by the bootstraps and, I don't know, do something. Quit blaming something that happened almost a century ago or longer. I mean, like, we can only blame slavery for so much, for so long. We can only blame the civil rights era for so much, for so long. I mean, it's just a point where you gotta do something about it yourself. And I know too many good black folks that have come up out the mud and done something about it to know that it's possible for everybody with the will to do it, to be able to do it. You just got to want it. You got to grab that brass ring and go for it. You know, and I just think there's an entire generation of younger white folks out there that have grown up around it, and they just believe it because they've been beat upside the head with it in the school system and with the education system. And kudos to Trump for going to sign a executive order to abolish the Department of Education. And maybe we can stop some of this brainwashing. But that's what happened to me. I just woke up one day and I'm like, I have rescinded my invitation to the barbecue. I did not RSVP. I said, I'm good. I can cook my own damn barbecue. I said, no, I can't keep coming to the barbecue and being forced to live a lie. The problems in your community, the problems in your life, the problems in your city, which was our city, are now 100% self-inflicted. And the only way you're going to solve those problems is not going to be with a blank check from the state of Mississippi. It's going to be with an upending of your culture and accepting some accountability. And I don't want to be around people that refuse to accept accountability. They just continue to want to blame all their problems on the past and on other people. That's unattractive to me. Nobody in my social circle blames all their problems on other people. Those aren't the kind of people I want to be around. You know, I just think that there's an entire generation out there that needs to wake up. And I think that Zach is under attack now. It's the Zach attack. The attack of Zach. And I think he's starting to wake up and seeing how these people really operate. That's how I did. It was when I started the Save Jackson page and really started realizing how these people thought when they started coming after me constantly. And this was way before I started really speaking out like I do now. Like I said, just the simple things like posting pictures of empty buildings and making, jokes about the mayor looking goofy and not doing anything, and just saw the attacks that came on me. Positive solutions only, Clay. If you ain't got a positive solution, you just need to shut up. What they mean by positive solutions is in tough conversations, is they want you to, and by you I mean white people, to look them dead in the eye, and they want you to say, I'm sorry for all that me and my people have done to you. It's all that's wrong in your world is my fault. That's what that's their positive solution. That's their tough conversation. I just ain't going to do that. I'm nodding my head no for those on radio. No, I ain't going to do it. And this goes back to what I've been saying for the last couple of days. This isn't controversial. This is just the truth. Any problem, anything wrong in the urban community known as Jackson, Mississippi, is the fault of the people who currently live there. Nobody else. You guys got handed the keys to a perfectly functioning city about 30 years ago when Harvey Johnson Jr. became mayor. And it has not been a steady decline. It has been a breakneck whiplash decline since you got the keys to the city and y'all began this, what I refer to as reparations politics. That's why I have little to no faith in anyone outside of about two people winning this mayoral race. Kim Wade being one. I like young Zach. I don't know if he's got a chance. I think we got to deprogram him a little bit, but I think the attacks against him are starting to do that. Is he ready to be mayor? Well, you know what? The guy that's currently mayor damn sure wasn't ready, and he won. So we'll see. You know, as far as the rest of them, I don't know. I mean, I believe that Socrates Garrett could probably be a good mayor. I think he's an extremely smart businessman. I'm just a little perplexed why he's in this race, because, I mean, he could self-fund his way to a win. He's a very smart businessman. And I don't fault him for playing the system the way he has. I got a lot of respect for Socrates Garrett. I mean, I did chuckle when he blamed something on racism not too long ago about he tried to get into the garbage business and said the garbage in the city needed to be picked up by a black man because it was a black city. I don't know, whatever, whatever works for your grift, I guess. But anyway, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, live here on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Men's Health of Mississippi. Guys, go get your testosterone levels checked. That's a big problem in Jackson. Is too many of the leaders, air quotes in the studio, leaders, are low testosterone males. And we need to get your testosterone levels up. That's what we ought to do for all these mayoral candidates. You ought to have to do a credit check and get your testosterone levels checked. If you ain't at least 700 on your credit or your testosterone, they should be, both need to be above 700 for you to be mayor or city council person, as far as I'm concerned, in any city. If you got bad credit, you don't need to be in charge of the checkbook for the whole damn city. If you got low testosterone, you don't need to be a leader of men. Plain and simple. We're offering free testosterone screenings today out at Men's Health of Mississippi. Just text my name, Clay, to 601-327-8550. Potential mayoral and city council and any other political folks out there considering running for anything, and citizens. Free testosterone screenings. If you're suffering from fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, sleep disturbances, or you voted for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris anytime in the last 8 years. 601-327-8550. Text Clay. We'll get you hooked up out there at Madison at Men's Health in Mississippi with a free testosterone screening. Change your life beginning today. I added a little salt to that. That was not all part of the ad read, but I'm just saying. If it's true, it's true. There's something floating around here I want to hit real quick. I saw where Sheriff Jones chimed in on it, and I've seen where a lot of other people have chimed in on it, and they're trying to make something out of it that it's not. And it's this whole DEI stuff and Arlington Cemetery. And it's pretty disgusting that they're trying to say that Trump's had Medgar Evers removed from it. Benny Thompson's trying to stir the pot. Like I said, they can't help themselves. It's just, they got to take it back to the civil rights stuff all the time. Everything's got to be about Medgar and others. Again, it's just divert the attention away. But that is not what happened. Medgar Evers' name got moved on the website. It did not get removed from the website. We're doing away with DEI nonsense. We're doing away with having special categories for black folks. That's it. I mean, equality means equality. It means everything's equal. This is what y'all wanted, was equality. This is what y'all want. Everything is equal. Not we're going to put the blacks over here and say the best black version. We're not going to do that anymore. It's just you're the best or you're not. If you just so happen to be black and the best, then great. But we're no longer going to have a separate category for you. You're gonna be the best based on merit. Race be damned. We're not doing the first black this anymore. We're not doing we're not putting race in front of it no more. The only thing race gonna go in front of is the description of a perp. They're like, we got to know if we're looking for two black males that just robbed a bank. We got to know if we're looking for two white males that just robbed a bank. We got to know if we're looking for two Hispanic males that just robbed a bank. That's relevant information. I don't give a damn if you're the first black to step on the moon, to do anything. We're done with that. DEI is dead. DEI has DIE'd. I'm disappointed in Sheriff Tyree Jones for stirring the pot as well. I don't know if it's ignorance or complicitness in it. Did he not do the research and just post based on what he saw Benny Thompson post? I don't know, but it's disappointing nonetheless. He said this. And he shared an NBC News post about like Jackie Thompson. I mean, I'm sorry, this is about Jackie Robinson, not the other thing. But it says, this is making America great, huh? How can anyone support this type of crap and think it's okay? Beyond hurtful, disrespectful, and sickening. And it was in reply to, I had my stories a little mixed up here. I apologize. It's in reply to this NBC News post. It says, before breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball, Jackie Robinson served as a second lieutenant in the Army. So this all ties together. It says, that part of history is no longer exists on the Department of Defense's website as part of the Trump administration's DEI purge. Robinson, whose military service was highlighted on the Army and the Air Force's websites as the latest known black icon to be included in the purge of websites overseen by the Pentagon. A webpage about Medgar Evers, the civil rights activist and World War II veteran, was erased from the Arlington Cemetery's website also. Well, look, I hate to be the one to tell y'all, but they are no more special than anybody else. They're just not. Their service does not need to be highlighted any more than anybody else's service. We've done it for far too long. We all know. We all know what they did. Proud of them. Thank you for your service. But I'm just as proud of Jim Bob from Timbuktu's service that didn't make it home either. Or that did make it home. I don't care what anybody else did just because of their color. We're done celebrating that. We've done it for a long time. That part of history's over. It's equality now. 100% equality. That is how you make America great. I got a lot of respect for a lot of people, but man, they lose their damn minds when it comes to talking about race and blackness. Like it just takes, it takes front and center over every other rational thought. And that's just why I lose respect for it. And you lose me on the entire conversation. And I know that they don't give a damn what I think. They lose respect for me for saying this. And that's fine. We don't have to like each other. I am perfectly okay with that. If you don't wave at me when you see me at Martin's anymore, I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to sit back and continue to keep my mouth shut because that would be going against everything that I believe in. We got to take this last break. Internet audience, don't go nowhere. All right, internet audience. Appreciate everybody for tuning in today. That is 100% how I feel about that. I'm fed up with constantly feeling like we got to bend the knee over this crap. I have nothing but love and respect for what Jackie Robinson went through with baseball, but what he did in baseball and what he did in the military are not the same damn thing. If the MLB Hall of Fame wants to give him a whole damn wing to celebrate breaking the color barrier, I am all for it. The federal government should not. Medgar Evers, we want to build statues and museums and everything in honor of what he did for civil rights. I am all for it. As a matter of fact, we've already done it, and it's awesome. I have no problems with it. The federal government should not. His service is no more special than anybody else's. Period. It's disrespectful to everybody else's sacrifice that they made to only highlight theirs because they were black. I said what I said. I don't care who that upsets. I am grateful for their service. This country would not be what it is today without their service. Make sure when y'all clip this out and y'all try to say that Clay said something racist that you get this part in there too. I am grateful for their service. This country would not be what it is without it. But what they did is no different than what Jim Bob from Byram did. I'm just making up a white person name from the sticks here. You know, Paul from Pearl. I don't know. Pick something. I mean, their service was just as important, and there should not be any designation between the two. If y'all want to designate them in these other things and highlight what they did, absolutely all for it. Equality is not disgusting. Equality is what makes America great. Y'all got the words equality and equity confused. Y'all have a blessed day. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. As we land the plane here for the day. I know that last segment, I know that hit some people hard. That hit some people the wrong way. Some people just, they can't get past this. We have to acknowledge that for some reason, for somehow, if somebody black does it, that it's more special than if anybody else does it. We don't highlight any other race group in this country's accomplishments separately from the accomplishment, except black people for some reason. We're too far removed from the civil rights era and everybody getting equal everything to continue doing that. And the longer you do that, the more entitlement you teach people, the more that they think and are taught to believe that it's okay to be racist. I mean, basically what you're doing is you're teaching them that it's okay to be racist. It's okay to have black pride. But if you have any other racial pride, it's somehow racist. That is racist. If white pride is racist, then so is black pride. If I said hashtag white excellence every time I accomplish something, y'all would say I was a racist. Why are the rules not the same every time somebody says black excellence or black girl magic or anything like that? The rules must be equal. That is how equality works. Y'all are the ones that keep telling me we have to have equality.